All this week we've been exploring fragility in music, and one way that this shows up is soft, delicate sounds. So that's what we're looking at today, all the colours and textures of piano. And I'm not talking about piano, I'm talking about piano, the P, which means soft playing. So I have some exercises for beginners and exercises for more advanced players. And I also have a bonus listening exercise. If you are a pop player, this may make you think differently about compression in pop music. And then at the very end, there is a relaxation exercise if you want to stay to have a nice calm start to your music practice for today. Start, spark. Welcome to Practice Space. If you're new, I'm Erica. I am a musician and composer. I sing, I play the double bass. I also play guitar and a few other instruments. And Practice Space is all about giving you something new, something inspiring, something motivating to work on every day in your music practice. So if you want to follow along with the daily episodes, you can subscribe. And I also teach music online. So if you ever want to go deeper into a topic, you can get in touch. I'll leave a link in the description. So you may not realize it, but there is actually a lot of drama in soft, quiet playing. Often, if you go to a performance, the softest part can be the most exciting part. If you have ever had the experience of having to lean forward, feel like you're leaning in to hear what is happening on the stage, this is the power of piano, the power of soft playing, and especially the power when it is contrasted with our other extreme dynamics, the extreme fortes. So exploring all of the colors of piano is what we're going to do today, and I'm going to give you some prompts, and I think if you like you can use this as an improvisation exercise, but you can also work on these prompts throughout your repertoire as well. So if you're a beginner, I have 3 things you can try in your practice today to explore the colours of piano or the colours of soft playing. The first is to take a single note and play it softly, and try and play it softly in as many different ways as you can. So think about how the note starts. Does it start cleanly? Is there airiness at the beginning? Is there a little crescendo, a little getting louder into the beginning of the note? And then think about how the notes are sustained. Is it a short note? Is it quite staccato? Is it legato? Is it held for a long time? Is there texture in the note? Is there vibrato? Is there no vibrato? Is there a nasalness to the sound? Is there an airiness to the sound? And then think about how the note is ended. Is it cut off? Does it die away naturally? Does it fade? Is there a little bit of vibrato that comes in sparkling just at the end? And so the second thing to look at is what we're going to call micro crescendos and decrescendos. So you're going to work within a range of, we'll say, triple P, which is very, very quiet, to MP, which is moderately quiet. So work on crescendoing either a single note or a short, simple phrase, just half a scale, or maybe a 4-note melodic fragment, crescendoing and decrescendoing within that range of your triple P to MP and back to triple P again. And then the final exercise is to do a call and response. So play a short, simple melodic fragment or the first half of a scale piano, and then play it again and use something you learned either from the first exercise or from that crescendo exercise and play it differently. So playing your first phrase and then echoing it, but changing the color of that piano phrase. So if you're a more intermediate to advanced player, my first task is actually to take the beginner exercises but apply them to your repertoire. So the songs, the etudes, the exercises you're working on. And so you can explore all the colours and textures of piano. How do you start, sustain and end notes at that soft volume? And then for the second exercise, those micro crescendos and decrescendos between a triple P to MP, so finding the places where you can do these little micro crescendos in your music. And then the third task, the call and response, you can take a phrase and you can play it once, then you can echo it and change something. Or you can take repeating sections of the music. For example, you have 2 choruses. How do you play both those choruses at a soft volume, but play one way and play one with a different color, a different texture? And so my second exercise is to take something from your repertoire that you would normally play loudly and play it piano, but try and maintain the same sense of intensity that that performance would have at the forte volume. So this will teach you something about playing piano, playing softly but with intensity, and hopefully also teach you something about playing forte. So then you can go back to playing your piece at the normal written dynamics and see if your forte playing has changed after exploring it softly. And so then my final task is to take this idea of the colors of piano, but move it to the extremes of your instrument. So either looking at the extremes of your register, very high to very low, or looking at some kind of extended technique. How can you get these soft sounds by doing something unconventional on your instrument? And if you've never heard of extended technique, this is maybe a nice time to look up some extended techniques on your instrument and try them out in your practice today. So I have a final bonus exercise, and this is especially for anyone who plays and listens to mainly pop music. And in pop music, there is something called compression. And what this means is that if there's soft parts of the track, the volume is brought up, and if there's really loud parts, it's kind of squashed, so that when you listen to it, everything sounds like it is the same volume. And so what this means is that we miss out on the natural dynamic range that exists in other forms of music. And so I want you to find a classical recording where the dynamic range is preserved. And if you're not sure what to listen to, you can just Google what is the most famous classical composition, what is the most famous piece for piano, violin, cello, whatever instrument you'd like to listen to. And listen out for those areas of dynamic contrast. So listen for the really soft areas and listen for the really loud areas, and focus on the soft areas and find the intensity in those soft parts. And maybe this will make you think about music a little bit differently. Maybe you'll be like me and you'll start to think, why do we have to have everything the same volume? Why are we limiting our color palette when we play pop and contemporary music to just stuff that is all in the one dynamic range? Why can't we let our recordings have the full dynamic range? So I hope you found this episode useful. If you did, it would be great if you hit the like button, and you can subscribe for more episodes just like this. And coming up after this, there is a very short relaxation exercise which you can stay for if you'd like. And finally, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. So let's just take some time to prepare the body and the mind for practice. Take out your instrument, books, music, whatever you need for your practice today, and then spend a few moments making the space comfortable. And when you're ready, coming to a place of stillness, you can stand or sit with your instrument. And then, with the next exhale, gently closing the eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice where in the body you feel that breath moving. The nose, the throat, chest, diaphragm. Where you feel the rise of each inhale and the fall of each exhale. And now you can begin to count each breath. 1 with the inhale, 2 with the exhale, 3 inhale, 4 exhale. Just up to a count of 10, then returning back to 1 again. And if any thoughts appear in the mind, simply noting, thinking, or any feelings, noting, feeling, and bringing the attention back to the breath. If you find you're distracted, simply returning to the count of 1, back to 10, and then repeat back at 1. So now slowly bringing your awareness back to the body, feeling the weight of your body in the chair, or the feeling of the feet connected to the floor. Maybe the feeling of your instrument under your fingers, its texture. And then, when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open, and I wish you a wonderful day's practice.